from the Tories, well, their headline figures, they've been talking a lot about the NHS, 50,000 more nurses in the NHS. And it's already been explained that 18,500 of those are nurses who they want to retain rather than new nurses.
Exactly. That was the news overnight. So this whole pledge has got us pretty puzzled, and the Conservatives have promised to try to explain it to us this morning. So if we get a decent explanation, it will go up on fullfactor.org and we'll come back and explain it. But firstly, they're saying we can have 50,000 more nurses for about £900 million. Now, £900 million is admittedly a lot of money, but it's not what 50,000 nurses cost. Roughly speaking, a band 5 nurse who would earn about £24,000 a year, once you factor in national insurance and pensions and all the other things that it actually costs to employ something, roughly speaking, they'd cost about £53,000 a year for the NHS to actually employ. Multiply that out, and it costs about £2.8 billion, depending on what you include, to employ 50,000 nurses. So we don't understand at the moment how the Conservatives think they're going to do this for £900 million. And we don't understand whether these are actually, in words of the manifesto, are 50,000 more nurses. Yeah. Well, firstly, as you said, some of these they're trying to improve retention.
Yeah, well,
so
I suppose their argument would be,
they're
saying yes, largely women, some men already working, but who would otherwise be expected to leave if they didn't get extra pay.
Sure, but what do you think of when you hear the phrase more nurses? But the other thing is there's about 40,000 vacancies for nurses in the NHS at the moment, some of them filled with temporary staff. So the other thing we want to know from the Conservatives is, are you just saying we're going to fill mostly vacancies that already exist, maybe change some of these temporary staff to permanent staff? So there'll be the same
number of people on the wards as there currently are, they'll be on staff rather than temporary.
This is what we don't know. This promise sounds great, but what's underneath it is at the moment a bit of a mystery.
And that does matter when it comes down to something like the NHS, because it does matter in terms of your actual ability, the treatment you get. And
if you turn up on a ward and you don't have a nurse or you don't have enough nurses, you feel